So, we just had an earthquake. That was nice. Starting my day off, getting my dogs fed. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. My day's okay. I did just get some bad news. So my January show is going to be the first show that I'm producing, first live show. Just got canceled because the owner of the place decided to sell right before the holidays, and the new owners are going to be renovating starting in January. So they're shutting down all the shows. So so now I gotta contact all the comedians and let them know. Not like there was a ton. There's 5 comics. I gotta contact them. Let them know the show is now canceled. Their January 26th is now free. And I have to figure out another venue. Which sucks because I fucking adore that place. I really was excited about this place. I really was, and I'm so bummed out about it. I really am. You know, one minute you're doing really good, next minute you're like, fuck. That's this business, though. That's this business. I know, Shiloh, you want to go outside. You just went outside. You can wait a minute, dude. I'm trying to get you your lunch so you can eat your chicken and take a shit. Oh, man. Yeah, so super bummed out about that. It's, look, shit happens. It really does. Like last night, I had a nice, fun show at the Haha Comedy Club. Thank you, Percy, for having me. I was a little bummed that he cut my time short. I fucking hate it when people do that. You go in, expecting your 10-minute spot, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're only getting 8 minutes. And you're like, oh, well, I thought I was getting 10. They're like, yeah, we're running long. But, at the same time, the producer of the show decides to get up and do 40 minutes, which is like every fucking show he does that. Love you, Percy. But yeah, that's really frustrating when you're trying to build up material and you're trying to work out your 30 minutes, your hour of material, and you're only getting little 10 minutes at a time. And then that gets cut because the dude wants to get up, and it's fucking frustrating. It really is. I mean, I love that dude, but it's annoying. And honestly, like, it's not even like him. Like, dude, this dude has a host come in. I don't need to name her, but she comes in to host. She runs the light, so she's doing extra time. And then decides to get up and do 5 minutes between each comedian. Like, bitch, like, get the fuck off stage so I can get on stage. So the other comics can get on stage. It's just annoying, like, when that happens, Like, it's let's see. She did, like, 15 minutes up top and then did 5 minutes between, like, 3 different comedians. I mean, dude, she was up there literally, 25, 30 minutes throughout the night. And then you want to take away 2 minutes of time. That is fucking annoying. And then, not just him, but other producers, they sit there and like, oh, we need you to bring people out. We need to put butts in the seats. I get that. I treat every show as a bringer show. A bringer show is a show where producers really push you and say, hey, I need you to get 5 people out. Or, hey, I need you to get 10 people out. And if you don't get that out, then they're open about it. They're like, look, if you can't get 10 people out, I'm not going to give you the amount of time I was going to give you. Those producers are really upfront about it. But I treat every show like a bringer show. I treat every show because I want people at the show. I don't want to do comedy to an empty room. Some comedians, I guess, seem okay with that. I'm not. Like, I like doing comedy in front of people. I like the laughter. So, I mean, why else would we be doing it? So I treat every show like a bringer show. the thing is you have no control over other people's schedules, and producers treat you like like you're a bad person if all of a sudden the people on in your life just can't make it out that night, and all of a sudden you're being treated poorly for it. And not every producer does that, but some do, and it's bullshit. So I'll have so there's an inconsistent, like, I'll have one show where I'll have 27 people show up. I'll have another show where 35 people show up. And then I'll have a show where 4 people show up. I'll have a show where only 6 people show up. There's no control over that. I produce this, or I produce. I promote my shows all the same. Use my social media. I make phone calls. I text people. I have an email newsletter. Come on. How many comedians have an email newsletter? Very few. Very few. Especially at my level. I think a lot of comics don't get email newsletters till they're doing big stuff. I go out network. I've had my Starbucks baristas come out because I network with people and I get people to come out. So don't fucking bug me to bring people out, dude. I can't stand that shit. And then when I do, and I show up to a show, and I have people out there, and then all of a sudden my time gets chopped because, some people can't shut the fuck up on stage, or they run the light. Like last night at my show, there were 2 comics that ran the light significantly. Like, you're taking away from the other comedians. Like, be respectful. It's a business, dude. It's an art, and be respectful. There's other shows at comedy clubs. They have to turn the tables. They got to get people out so they can get the next show going. That's why I can't stand it. When I get the light, fucking get off stage. So anyways, just ranting. I guess I'm more annoyed that I lost my show in January. So now I'm ranting about the other stuff. Whatever. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But today, I started off, well, like always, I start my morning with my YouTube upload. So I did that. And then, my guy, Greg Dean, I had another video I was editing for him. Finished that. Got that off to him. So I have a list of things I'm doing today. And I'm trying to be productive and go down that list. I got to call my doctor, get something scheduled. I got to get my truck washed. I need to write some jokes about the car, washing my truck, man. But I would like to write some more material. And then I got to do the Christmas list with my boy. It's time to work on his Christmas list. He's really into robotics. My son's really into robotics. He's in a robotics class, actually. So yeah, he wants robotic stuff for Christmas, but I mean, it's hard. It's not like just buying a toy, you know what I mean? Like, it's like there's a lot of research on like what's the right equipment, because it's very, a lot of technical stuff. It's mechanical and technical, so it's a lot to look up. But he was overwhelmed with it and asked me to help him, so I got to figure that out. And then what's today? Thursday. Thursday, my friend Buffy hit me up and asked me if I have a show, and I don't have a show tonight, but I might hit an open mic. I might go to the Flashback open mic. I try to go there on Thursdays. It's just a good night to go. Or maybe I'll go down to Culver City. My boy John, or Nazi, has just started doing an open mic writing session down there. I like open mic. I like my open mic, when I do it, we do it with feedback. I like open mics where they present some type of feedback, or they do an improv mic where you're pulling prompts, so you're just working off the cuff. Or, writing sessions. If comedians are like, hey, we're doing a writing session, they invite me, I want to go work on some material because it's in a group setting. Other comics might be like, oh, that's a great joke. Here's a good tag for it. Or they might give you some great suggestions. As long as I'm not doing the whole like, well, I didn't really think it was that funny. Shut up, dude. Like, it's subjective. Okay. Well, I got to microwave this shit. We'll see what happens for the rest of the day. I'm not really sure. But yeah, we did just have an earthquake right before I hit record. Yeah, if you've never experienced an earthquake, it's weird. A lot of times, depending on where the earthquake is, where the earthquake is, like you can hear it. It sounds like a big truck coming down the street. It's just like this big rumble. And you'll hear it, and then all of a sudden stuff will start moving. It's really weird. Not all of them are like that, but it's crazy when you do hear it, and that's what I heard today. Like it was maybe a second, maybe 1.5 seconds of a rumble, just hear, and then all of a sudden, like the house moved. And the house only moved for like 2 seconds, not long at all. Very interesting though. Maybe one day, if I'm vlogging like this, maybe one day we'll get something on camera. I would prefer not to. Earthquakes are cool, but they're not cool. So still a little bummed about losing the spot in January for my comedy show. I was talking to my boy Dan Green earlier today, and then he, because I was going to have him in the first lineup, and then he was showing me images of the Kookaburra Lounge. He's like, I'm not trying to sell you on it, but I want you to check it out. It's a new comedy club that's going to be opening up pretty soon. Maybe they'd be open to let me do some produced shows there. But the problem is like at a comedy club, they're going to want like $500, $1,000, $2,000 up front to reserve the room to do your show. And then now you're starting in a negative. That's why I really liked this other spot. It was a beautiful place. It really like resonated with me. I really wanted to be at this spot. So I'm just super annoyed with that. And I would have started off at 0, not negative. So if I sold one ticket, I would be in the green immediately. If you do a show at a comedy club or any venue that wants to charge you up front, I mean, you have to that with ticket sales. Like all of a sudden you have to pay them $500 to reserve the room. You got to pay them $1,000. And a lot of times they want that shit up front. So yeah, it's not like, oh, I owe you. It's like, no, bitch, I'm starting off in the negative, literally in the red, and I have to fight to sell tickets just to get to 0. And then if you want to pay your comics, which I hope as a business person, like you would want to, it attracts better business, then whatever you're going to pay, like you got to pay for the room, and then you got to pay your comics. And that isn't why I haven't done any shows yet. I mean, produced my own shows. I want to find a spot that I'm like, I want to call this place home. And I love that place. Before I even knew that they weren't going to charge me anything, I knew I wanted to do a show there. Ugh, it's so frustrating. Makes me want to go play a video game right now and just forget all this stuff. Yeah, so I just finished editing some stuff for Greg Dean, and I was talking to Dan about the Kookaburra Lounge Comedy Club that's going to be opening up soon, and then he said that he has some other places he can pitch me and see if I'd want to do a comedy show at any of them. So I have to check out some other places because I really want to get a monthly show going in this next year, 2024. Like I want to be able to start producing a monthly show that I can call my own. I mean, we already came up with a name, Kidder's Guffaw. Like I love that name. Like now I need a home for Kidder's Guffaw. So anyways, good note is I'm working tomorrow. Finally make a paycheck. And then like, it's on a feature film with Will Ferrell. And like, just so you know, like I do grip work, which is set lighting, right? So like the electricians come in, they put the lights on the stands, and then Grips put all this fancy shit around the light to make the light look nice. It makes it so we put filters in front of the light so that the light's nice and soft. We put up what are called cutters, these flags that go around the light. So we shape the light. So like if you see a shadow on the wall and it looks like a line from a street light or whatever, trust me, there was a grip who set a flag and made that light do that. You manipulate the light. So that's what I do. I've been doing that for 18 years. And yeah, I'm in the union, but it's nice, you know, like I saw, you know, I had to sign all the paperwork and saw my rates 49.50 an hour. It's like that's good. That's a good rate. And we usually work like 12 hours, so you get into overtime. So as that time and a half would be like 75 an hour. If we get into double time, you know, then you're doing 100 an hour. It's pretty damn good. The only rate that gets better than that is when you're doing like commercials. When you're doing commercials, it's less days, so the rates are negotiated higher. So commercials you do 55 an hour, 57 an hour, something like that. I think I've even done like 61, 62 an hour for commercials, but whatever. I'm just grateful to be working, man. Just grateful. It's only 2 days, but it's, you know, here we are right before Christmas, and any money is good money at this point. Yeah. Yeah, let's try to figure this out, man. Try to figure out this show. And then my guy Dan is talking about like Vegas. We're trying to figure out shows in Vegas. Like I got us one, but we're seeing if we can get another one. And then he mentioned he reached out to a comedy club in Albuquerque. I think it's called like Dry Heat or something like that. So we're gonna see if we can get booked there on the Wednesday night before, or no, that would be Tuesday. Wednesday, that'd be Wednesday night. And then we're in Wichita Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm gonna rush home because I mean that's already like a bunch of days away from my kids, and I don't have anything booked behind that, so I want to get home. And that puts a lot of stress on the family too. Like if I leave for a week, that puts more stress on my wife Yvonne. Like she has to now, because she works full time. All of a sudden, she has to figure out dropping the kids off at school, picking them up. Can she do it today? Does she have to get our mom to come over and help? You know, so that causes more stress on the family in many different ways. Got my nightly Starbucks. Oh, yeah, but I feel very productive today, even though it started off as a shitty morning with that email. I had several things on my list today, and I got everything done. Like I have the little to-do list on my iPhone, and so when you hit it, it marks it and disappears. So as I go down the list, I see stuff disappearing, and I was able to get through my entire list today, which is great. It's great. I needed that. But I am before I hit the bed, I am going to upload some YouTube content and just put it on. Like I'm gonna set it up so that it uploads tomorrow because I'm gonna be on set all day. I have no idea what my day looks like, but I know like if I'm there all day, I won't be able to do any business work comedy wise. I can't do YouTube stuff. I can't edit videos. I can't even write jokes. I mean, when I do come up with jokes on set, I put it in my phone. So that's usually what I'll do. But I don't know if I'll be able to record tomorrow. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm walking into. That's usually any film set. When it's new, when it's your first day, you have no idea what you're walking into. So I don't know. But if I can record, I will. Look at this gut, dude. I got to get rid of this gut. But yeah, if I can record tomorrow, I will. And I will drop that in on Saturday or Sunday. Up and at 'em, baby. Up and at 'em. Oh, and I have 2 shows coming up this next week. That's great. I'm going to be featuring, I think I'm doing like 20, 25 minutes. On Tuesday, I'll be featuring for Stephen Briggs, who is hilarious. If you've ever seen him, he's huge on TikTok. He's blowing up everywhere. Very funny dude. Good buddy of mine. Stephen Briggs is hilarious. I met him during the pandemic. He did a couple of my YouTube shows. And we see each other quite a bit at comedy clubs, and he's hilarious. I love that guy. But I'll be featuring for him on Tuesday in Corona, California. And then Thursday I'll be in Santa Barbara. I'll be in Santa Barbara, California, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of LA from where I live. I love going up there. It's a beach town. It's a college town. It's a couple of colleges. You have UC Santa Barbara up there. A lot of kids. When I say kids, kids in their 20s and stuff. But I'm doing a show up there with my girl, Jessica Winter. She's fantastic. She's hilarious. And she's been booking me up there. So I'm very grateful. Thank you. So, yeah, I got those two shows coming up next week. But here we go.